we were talking about brain rot.
Yeah.
And speaking of brain rot, I ended up binge watching. That's another thing that's plaguing me right now. There's many plagues. This is one of the plagues. I'm getting plagued by binge watching shows. So I was recommended to watch this show called Severance. And at first I was like, yeah, I'll probably check it out. I'll get around to it. But then I saw its name pop up like in certain videos and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to check it out. So I am not proud to tell you guys I ended up binge watching the shit out of it last weekend. I did not leave the house. I ended up binge watching 2 seasons in like 2-3 days. And then I finally watched the last episode today.
Damn. I'm still on episode 5 on the first season.
I'll tell you what happens at the end.
Nay. But yeah,
what are your thoughts? Let me hear what your experience was, or what do you think about it? Like, just your thoughts in general. What do you like? What do you don't like? All that.
Before I get to that, I do want to say one more thing about this last video that we were talking about.
Yeah.
And what we rolled into right now is that another effect that you should not be doing when you're freaking binge watching all this stuff or doom scrolling is your eyes get tired, your eyes get fatigued. Just don't do that shit.
Yeah.
But anyways, just binge watch these art videos instead.
Facts.
Because they're in informational videos.
We're on it.
But anyways, back to this Severance thing. Yeah, so I was of the same mindset as you. I was like, man, I feel like this is gonna be, because I googled it, right? I was like Severance show or whatever. And you know how when you Google something, it like a show, it tells you like a plot of what the show is. You could recline your seat back if you want.
No.
It tells you like a plot of what it is, and I was like, man, this seems like it's gonna be boring. And I never watched the trailer either, so I was like, you know what?
Yeah. I didn't either. I jumped into it.
I just jumped into it.
Yeah.
Literally, I just jumped in. And I was like, all right, forget it. I'm just gonna do episode 1. I did episode 1, and I was like, man, I don't know if I can do this. This is kind of boring. And then you're like, no, bro, it gets better. So I kept watching it, and holy crap, dude! The last episode I just watched, I was like, damn, it just opened a can of worms.
Yeah.
But since I started watching this, it's been like, I noticed that there is all this stuff that's going on in the show. It's literally what occurs to us in real life, bro. But not on the aspect that we forget what's going on.
It's like we want to.
But we want to forget what's going on at work. And, I mean, what do you think? Do you think if what happens on Severance ever comes into fruition, do you think it's a good thing or do you think it's a bad thing?
I think it's bad.
Okay, so before we get into the whole thing about this,
background.
Yeah, so this show is like about having 2 personalities or 2 egos or whatever you want to call it. So you have your ego on the outside or your personality on the outside of work, and then you have one on the inside. So when you go to work, you forget everything that happens outside of work, and you only concentrate on your acting as your ego on the inside of work. And when you leave work, you forget about your work ego, your alter ego or whatever. So it's like really separated. So it's like literally a line. You cross that line, you forget what's on the other side.
Should I tell them what the show is about?
Yeah, you can tell them what the show's about.
Okay, so for those of you that haven't seen Severance, it's a really good show. First off, I recommend it, even though it sounds boring. It's
I do too, yeah.
I'd say it's like one of the top shows. So it's about this guy. He decides to join a company. The company's name is Lumen. And what they do is they put a brain chip inside of the employee's skull. Yeah. And what happens is that chip, so like when the employee walks into work and they go down the elevator switches into their work personality. So their personality split. So when the work personality just works and they don't see anything on the outside of the world, so that every time the person comes back to work, it's like they never left work. They just keep working. And when the guy steps out of work, it's like he never went into work, so he never remembers anything from work. And what this does is it creates a split personality. So they have 2 different identities, and they have their own thoughts, their whole own life. So it's essentially 2 people inside of one body.
One body, yeah.
So that's the background.
Yeah. So, what was I saying? I don't remember.
You're talking about how the ego is split.
Oh yeah, so so anyway, so that's pretty much what the show's about. But yeah, do you think that ever think that something like that would become to fruition in real life?
Yeah, it already has.
I think it has to. I think it has to.
I think this show is based off of MK Ultra mind experiments, because like when people they have MK Ultra done on them, their mind compartmentalizes. So like when there's like a trigger that happens, for example, the elevator is a trigger, right, and it causes them to switch. MK Ultra works the same way. So like these victims, they're psychologically hurt to the point where they split off into different people. So like every time they disassociate, they turn into a different person.
Correct.
And like sometimes they have these things they're called repressed memories,
Mm-hmm.
and like they forget it. So like when they undergo that trauma, their other side forgets about it until like later on in life, all that shit comes back at once and hits them.
Yeah.
So I think that's what this show is about. Like it's like related to.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
So
100%.
I think it's already happening in a sense, but like as in the sense of like brain chips and shit, I think they might.
I think they might do that.
Yeah.
And then going into like the work aspect of things, I think it's already there as well. I have seen instances where if you're a person that just likes to grind a lot, like you're always just constantly working, and it's happened to me before, like in the like this week, for example, this whole week, I go into work and I'm just so focused on work that if I get a message, like a personal message on my phone or whatever it is, that's on the back of my mind. I'm so focused on my task at hand or the deadlines or the sales goals I have to meet that I forget about all of this. And then when I go to lunch, I won't even think about all the personal stuff. I'm still thinking about work when I get back. So like it sucks because then when I leave work,
it follows you.
Sometimes it follows me, but then I get to go and I focus on the personal stuff that I forgot to think about while I was at work. So I feel like because our work life is so like this, like always constantly in a hurry, that we prioritize our work life and we forget about our personal life. So it creates kind of like what the show is creating, like a split personality. You know, like you're so devoted to work when you're at your 8 to 5. As soon as you leave your 8 to 5, then you're just like you transition into your home life. You know, and then when you wake up in the morning again, you're just like boom, right at work, trying to focus on yourself. Like especially if you have a high stress job that has a lot of deadlines and a lot of freaking sales goals and whatever productivity goals, all you're gonna do, all your focus on at work is just meeting those goals instead of whatever's going on in your personal life. It like that show depicts that some people don't have a well work-life balance. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They prioritize that money and that work for nothing.
Yeah.
So it happens though. Even without that chip, it happens. It just depends on your personality.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that show, it made me want to put in my 2 weeks notice.
I agree, bro.
I was like, yo, I'm done with this shit, bro. I don't want to do this. Mm-hmm. I was like, bro, if I didn't have to work and I had like good money, I would have quit that day, bro. I would have sent him the notice. But too bad I'm in the Matrix. I might have to wait on that. But it was hella funny because I was like, man, I'm done with this shit, bro.
It's crazy. Yeah, it sucks, dude, because
the show makes you feel that anxiety.
It makes you feel almost depressed because it was crazy because I was telling my coworkers on Wednesday, I was like, guys, I literally feel like I'm living the show Severance right now because of just how much shit that I was dealing with at work and, just the amount of things I was doing that they were like, what the hell is Severance? And I tried to explain to them what it was, but then they were just doom scrolling,
They're the split personalities right there.
So I feel like in that show, like those people would just become mindless robots at work, and that's how we're all becoming, as mindless robots at work.
And it shows in the show that, like, remember when the girl comes in, she starts getting pissed off because she's like, this isn't the life to live. She starts to rebel.
I'm on the episode when she comes back after hanging herself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Spoiler alerts. Just
Sorry.
know there might be spoilers. Yeah,
Sorry,
that scene was crazy, huh?
It was crazy.
She's like, even though I know I have an Audi, I'm going to teach her a lesson.
Mm-hmm.
She tried to get me stuck like this. And that's the crazy part, because you have two parts to a person. And that part of her was like trying to off herself so the other person, other part of her would feel the pain and get eliminated.
Yeah.
That scene was, dude, it just gets crazier. Because, like, I'm not gonna spoil much, but it just gets into that whole fragmentation.
I know. I can already tell. I'm already seeing where the show's going.
Yeah. So it has hella twists, but there's a lot of occultism references going on. Cause I don't know if you noticed the Kier guy.
The Cure, yeah.
They're like worshiping him in a way.
They do worship him.
Yeah, and it becomes kind of like occultic. There's a scene where I'll tell you, but it's not going to give away anything. It's not going to give away the plot. You know the manager? She's losing her shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the part where she has an altar of him?
No.
Okay, she just has an altar. Just know that. And, like, it's next to a Masonic floor or checker floor. And it's weird they have that, because there's another scene where there's some kind of thing going on, like a ritual. People that have seen it, they'll understand it. It has to do with the four tempers. But the act they're performing, it's on the same Masonic checkered floor. So you're
shoot.
There's a lot of occultism, symbolism, Masonic symbolism, that if you're not aware of that shit, it's going to go over your head. Like, you're going to think it's an average scene. But, like, if you look into that shit, you're like, oh.
Yeah, it's something
you're like,
going on.
Yeah, this guy's like, they have this symbolism hidden within the show. And it's weird. There's a lot of occultism, but it's hella weird because it's like company. Like, you can, it has double meanings. Like, some of these corporate worlds, they have like a cult type mindset where, like, they want you to kind of worship work and stuff like that. Or on the other side, the occultism where they're worshiping this guy, it's like a different nefarious vibe where they're they have a hidden agenda going on. So it makes you think in that way, but it also makes you think that, would you really want to put yourself through that? Would you really want to get a chip installed to where you don't know what's really going on with you at work? Because, like, imagine a company makes you do that, right? And you go down, they could be doing anything to you and you won't know.
That's true.
Would you do it?
No. Absolutely not.
Yeah, because, like, you don't know. You forget. They could be hitting you.
They could be.
Whatever. They could make you do weird shit.
Or exploiting you. Or maybe in our reality, that you could be doing more work than what you're worth.
Exactly.
Or getting overworked and not getting paid as much.
Yeah.
And then your alter ego outside won't really know how much you're hustling inside.
Yeah.
So when you see your paycheck, you're just like, oh, dang, okay, I make this much, cool. But then you really don't know how much you're hustling. You may be overworked at work for the amount of money you're getting paid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think it's a good thing to do that.
And, like, the show shows that, like, you might be coworkers, like friends with your coworkers or whatever, but outside you don't even know them.
And you know what's crazy? Weird. It's already like that, though.
Yeah.
It's already like that in most companies. Like, you can, like, for example, like, I have coworkers at work I'm really cool with at work.
Yeah.
But outside of work, I don't know him like that.
Yeah.
I don't know him like that. I'm not gonna associate, like, I'll associate with them, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to associate with them outside. I'm not gonna go say, hey, let's go hang out or whatever. You know, like, we're cool at work, but that's it.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy? Like, once you start watching that show, and you start picking up on little things, you'll start seeing how equivalent it is to the real world. Literally, it's so equivalent to the real world, without even knowing. You know. The way I see Severance is the way I see, like, how salaryman used to be, like a salaryman, like person that used to just work on a salary back in the day. Like, cause I remember when he was at the dinner table, and his sister and his brother-in-law were there, and his brother-in-law accidentally spilled the beans and said, "Oh, he works for Lumen. He's part of the Severance. He's a Severance guy."
Yeah. It
kind of reminded me, like, of like conversations back in the day. Oh, he works for Lumen. He's a salary man.
Yeah.
He doesn't get paid hourly. He's salary. So because a person that's on salary, they're overworked so much that there's no work-life balance. Kind of like what it is in this show.
That brother-in-law's hella funny, huh?
The brother-in-law's hella funny, yeah.
He makes you crack up.
Yeah, but yeah, it's crazy, bro. How that show.
You've seen why Marquez he severed himself? Did you see why he severed himself? Do you know why?
Yeah, because of his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, his wife died.
So he had like trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows you like some people work because they don't have anything outside of work. And it's kind of sad, so they just go to work because that's the only meaning they
have.
Yeah, finding life, and that's sad. That brings up a different point. You don't know like what everybody's going through and shit.
Yep. And the other point that I wanted to bring up, that it kind of, besides that point, like you were saying, that applies to the real world. Like people that don't have anything going on in the real world will just like dive full into their work, you know, like and
that's the only meaning
because that's the only meaning they have, and that's the only gratification they have. They don't have anything else outside of life going for them. They don't have kids, wife or husband, you know, whatever, that all that stuff. They don't have any of that.
That's kind of scary.
Which is kind of scary, yeah, because you're just living for work, and at the end of it, they can easily just say you're done, you know.
Yeah.
Then what do you have to live for at that point? You never built any outside relationships with anybody else or anything like that, hobbies. But the other thing I did notice about the show that applies to real life is that the outies and the innies, like the outside people, like the people inside, and the people outside. So like, say how she offed herself because she didn't want to go through this anymore, but her outie didn't know what was going on, so she told herself to keep working. It's kind of like how people are now. Like, we don't want to go to the Matrix every day, but our other personalities telling us to go to the Matrix because we got stuff to pay, we got bills, we got so and so, we got families to feed, we got things going on in life that we need to go to work to make this money for. So our other version of ourselves, or our other part of ourselves, is telling us, no, you have to go to work.
Yeah.
So that kind of also makes me realize that show like has all these other aspects, hidden meanings in the show about real world, you know.
Yeah. After seeing that show, I can't look at elevators the same, bro.
Neither can I.
I was like,
yeah, I can't look at elevators the same. My bosses, I can't see them the same. I can't see work the same, bro. It's so strange, bro.
Bro, it goes from that to like so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, have you noticed like how it looks like a lab?
Yeah.
It looks like a lab. Low-key, all
I feel
work
like it's
feels
just
like a lab.
Yeah, it's like an experiment.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just an experiment.
Bro, if you think about it, bro, this is all fake shit.
It is. I think
this isn't even real.
No, oh my God, man. I think about this all the time. Like, if you think about it on a big grand scale, like the concept of work, the concept of life, and the concept of money, like none of this has to exist.
It's all fake.
Like
interest, debt, all that shit.
The deadlines we have, the interest, dude, it doesn't mean
the numbers.
Anything, bro. It doesn't mean absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to work. We don't have to do this. We don't have to do that. We'd work because we want all this stuff. Like, I think about that all the time, bro. I'm like, nobody has to work.
Bro, we could be free of all this, but it's like the few people at the top, they're like, the way they're like changing the rules, we're forced in this game like that. Just like in the show, bro.
Yeah.
They're like held there. Like, even if they want to quit, they have to get permission from their outside self.
And half the time the permission from your outside self is like, it could be you asking yourself, well, dude, can I afford to quit this game? Can I afford it, or can I not afford it? Or how is my family going to live if I quit?
Yeah.
So it's like it goes hand in hand, dude. But yeah, I do think about this all the time. Like, why do we have to work? Why do we have to put in all these hours? Why are we so stressed about things that don't even really matter? You know what I mean? I seen this video saying that if you work at a place that they tell you that you're like family, you're essentially just in a cult.
Yeah.
Yeah, is what they said. You're essentially just in a cult. So it's and then that if they say you're like family, then it's really the opposite. You're not. Yeah. You're really not family.
It's all lies.
It's all lies. Yeah.
It's all lies. And then they're like, I don't know. And then if someone disagrees with you, they can backstab you.
Mm-hmm.
All that stuff. But yeah, so Severance is a good show. You guys should check it. I think second season is pretty crazy. It gets really occultic. Have you gotten to the sheep part, the goat?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm still on episode 5. So I'm at the episode where they man, what's his name? So she comes back from hanging herself. Marquez has a book that he pulls out every now and then and starts reading it.
Oh, that's the one his brother
That's
made.
the one his
Brother-in-law.
Yeah. And then
it's funny they're all reading that because it makes them want to revolt.
Dude,
the way he
you
writes.
know what's crazy? Everybody started reading it.
I say try to finish it.
I'm gonna try to finish it. The one thing I do know is that Milchek and the older white lady, lady in charge,
Miss Kobo.
They're not on Severance, bro.
Yeah.
They're not on Severance.
Mm-mm.
Because if they were, she wouldn't be snooping around his house like she is.
Yeah.
So I have a strong belief that they're not on Severance at all.
That's a big giveaway.
Because when that guy PD died, she was like hanging around the house and going inside the house and trying to check up on him and stuff. And then the fact that she went to the funeral and Mark S was at the funeral. Well, Mark S was there because obviously he found out that PD and were friends. But she went to the funeral just to get the chip out of him, but to also see what Mark S was up to.
Yeah. To
see if Mark S actually was getting rid of his brainwash. Damn, bro.
Yeah.
He just came back from his Severance.
Yeah, the whole concept of the show is crazy because, if you think about it, they don't really have that many shooting locations where they go shoot the film.
Mm-mm.
Or the show. I mean, and it's so good. Even though it's boring at some parts, it's still the concept is just crazy.
What's the meaning of the word severance?
Severance means the severed cut.
The severed cut, huh?
Yeah, it means the cut off. It's pretty much that part of the brain's being cut off or whatever you want to say.
Have you ever heard the word, we'll put your severance package together?
Yeah.
When they fire you?
Oh, damn.
Yeah, that's crazy, huh?
Damn. So it has multiple meanings.
Mm-hmm.
Severance package. So when they cut you off the job.
Yeah, a severance package is a financial compensation and benefits agreement offered by employers to an employee upon termination.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. I ended up getting a severance package when I left one of my jobs.
That's good.
It was cool. It only lasted 6 months, but it was cool. I got to keep my health insurance for 6 months. I definitely got to keep my stock options. Those were unlimited. It's
hella funny how they were playing those games in the show. Have they done the games in there?
The only game I seen them playing was
where they're saying a new fact. Oh, the ball one too.
The ball one, yeah, where they were introducing themselves.
Yeah.
But I didn't get to see any other games.
That show is hella funny because that does happen in the corporate world without the ball, but the introduction, icebreakers, and all that.
You know what's crazy is that show depicts what it was to work in an office back in the day.
Yeah.
You haven't seen you haven't seen Mad Men, have you?
No, is it worth watching?
It's kind of it reminds me of a smaller version of Mad Men, but just the office style, the way the office is styled. Because the way the office is styled in Mad Men is kind of the way they have it in that show.
Yeah, I'm kind of pissed off. Season 2 is done now because the last episode dropped yesterday, and now for the next season, it's gonna take a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the last season it pissed me off, bro. I mean, the last episode.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, let me know what you guys think, if it pissed you off or not. It made me mad.
Yeah, the decor.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's old school.
Old school, just like it is there. I noticed that even though the show is not old school, it tries to bring that old school vibe back to that office to so they can bring the old school way of running the office.
Yeah, just watch when you get to episode 8, keep an eye out for the 4 tempers.
Mm-hmm.
Let me know if that reminds you of anything.
All right, I will.
Yeah.
Oh, the one thing too that actually reminds me of that show reminds me of the World too, is you remember when the other guy, the guy with the glasses, he talks about, if you do so and so amount of productivity, they give you a waffle party.
Yeah.
That reminds me of the corporate world. Oh, because it happens at my job.
Remember the waffle party?
Yeah, it reminds me of my like the job I have at work. The more you do, the more you sell. You guys get a pizza party. Like, you know, that's compensation. Yeah, that's compensation for them too. Is their waffle party? Like, that's insane, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Like the similarity.
It's like a slap in the face.
Yeah, the similarities between that show and the real world.
So that waffle party, it relates to the season 8.
Season 8?
I mean, episode 8.
Oh, okay, it's coming up.
Yeah. It's hella random, though. I was like, what the hell? But then they had the occultic shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is nuts. But it's hella occultic because it's pretty much them, like, worshiping their leader, the Kier guy. I don't even know what he did. He created Lumen?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they treat him like some kind of statue. And I don't even understand, like, even at the end of season 2, I still don't understand their exact agenda. It's weird.
I'm gonna have to do even more deep dive into it.
If you watch it, let me know what you think, like what they're trying to get at. Because even at the end of it, I was hella confused.
Yeah,
I was like, yo, what are they trying to do?
I think what you said too, how they're obsessed or they worship this Kier guy.
Yeah,
which is the founder, right? The founder of the company. People still do that to this day within their company.
That's true.
They'll idolize their CEO.
Yeah,
One of the companies I work for, man. I swear to God, man, like people, like when I was coming up through the company, like I was going to get my next promotion before I got fired. Like everybody around me that was either the same position or higher than me, they idolize like the people at the top. They idolize the CEO. They idolize like the vice presidents and stuff, like because of the lifestyle they had. And I'm just like, dude, why do you guys idolize these people? They're just normal people. Like, they don't hold any significance. But yeah, that show does remind me of like how other people out there idolize their CEOs or their bosses or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy, dude. Yeah, they did a good job with that show. They really did.
Bro,
like,
they did hella good.
Yeah, the hidden meanings in the show.
It's like so many meanings in one.
Yeah. Like
you got the occultism, the double meaning
of work, life,
relating to reality.
Yeah.
About how people want to escape work.
But they can't.
Somebody made a good video. They also related it to where when you go to work, it was kind of like how you were saying, when you go to work, you become a different person.
So
in a way, you're compartmentalizing. So when you're with your friends, you're a different person. When you're with family, you're different. When you're at work, you're different. And then, like, the thing that sucks about work is you got to be hella polite and shit.
Yeah.
So you're putting on hella masks. I mean, it's essential in life. Life is just like that. You're putting on a lot of masks, but it kind of sucks. It has to be that way.
You know what's crazy? Someone called me out for that today.
Putting on hella masks?
Someone said, one of the mechanics today, he called me out. I was talking to one of my homies in the office, and he goes, so how often do you just smile how often do you just pretend to smile? And, like, is there pain behind that smile? And I'm like,
what the hell?
What does that even mean? And he goes, yeah, like...
Bro became a psychologist.
Yeah, like, he was asking me questions, and I was like, no. He goes, when's the last time, like, you actually got upset, like, physically got upset? I was like, yesterday. And they're like, why don't you ever show that? Why are you always, like, smile and, like, pretend you're happy? I'm like, I don't pretend. Like, if I'm happy, I'm happy. If I'm cool, I'm cool. If I'm mad, I'm mad. I was like, I don't pretend with my feelings like that. I don't have a need to. He's like, then if you're stressed out, then show it. And I'm like, I try to control it as much as I can, but I was like, but he's like, so why do you do that? Why do you?
Because you're at work. You'll get fired.
And then I'm like, I'm going to have to get back to you on that. I don't have an answer for you.
I'll just tell him, fool, I'm trying to keep my job.
Like,
you think I can be over here flipping my desk and shit, throwing parts and wrenches at people?
Yeah, that fool asked me a lot of critical thinking questions, and I appreciate that of that guy. But I'm just like, man, am I really like that? And I'm like, no, I'm not. It's because I would have
said, I gotta keep my job, bro. I can't be over here throwing temper tantrums and shit.
For real. And I did the last 2 days. I was like in a bad mood, but...
Hey, real quick, you remember that scene? It was right after the girl tried hanging herself. The guy's like, show her kind eyes. And the guy didn't know how to do it.
Dude, that's the scene that triggered that. That's the scene that triggered me. As soon as I seen that scene...
Bro, you started practicing that?
I started saying, dang it, was he right? Like, do I have to practice to be happy at work or to show a face and a smile at work?
Bro went to the mirror, started practicing
No,
that shit.
I'm just like, man, dude.
Hi, my name is Caballero. How can I help you?
Dude, that
Welcome
legitimately,
back.
that show has like subconsciously like
Bro, it messes with you, bro.
It does. I'm like,
I told you I wanted to put in my 2 weeks, bro. I was like, shit, bro.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
Hell
like,
nah.
Do I really act like this at work? Am I like this at work? And it's just like, damn, dude, I am like this at work.
Bro, it's all good even if you are, because look at these influencers shit. Like, they'll be hyped up. They'll be like, hi, guys, I'm out here today. Follow me along when I go walking downtown. I'm over here going to buy a new pair of sneakers and this and that. You know what I mean?
I couldn't do that.
They start talking hella loud, like hella fast and shit. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like Roman Atwood and them. They're like, hi, guys, today watch me drive my Tesla 4x4, this and that. And then they'll just be like amped up, hella jump cuts.
So if you had to choose,
yeah,
would you rather have that as your severance, your fake personality on the internet, or where you're at right now? I feel like I'd rather have where I'm at right now, because at least I can act 100% at work if I wanted to. I have to put on a facade.
Even if that other one gets you paid more, I'd put on the facade.
I wouldn't. I feel like that'd kill me, bro.
I'd get out like.
I feel like
honestly, videos aren't that long, so I could do that hella fast.
Yeah.
And then I could then turn it off after the camera goes away. Just go back to being calm and shit.
I don't think I could
get my energy out.
I don't think I could do that. I think it would kill me, man.
You know what I wish I could act like? I think it would be the best, being like the Joker.
Yeah.
Just having that type of like.
If I can
characteristic.
be like, dude, I would love to act like the Joker. Like for 1 minute to be loony and then the next minute to be sane.
Like he's just like the way he does it is so calm, but like so like
subtle and like
it's like so like random.
Yeah, yeah.
It's hella funny.
He goes with the motion.
Yeah, like he doesn't take shit serious.
No, he doesn't.
Like he puts a funny twist on shit. That's how I'd be. Not like being all the psychotic, like messing people up type thing, but like just the personality. It's hella funny.
Yeah. I feel like my office is generally like that.
That's dope.
We're all kind of like jokers when it's time to just fuck around, but then when it's time to work, it's kind of hard. Even then, it's kind of hard to take work seriously too. But when I have to be the boss for a week or 2 weeks, it's kind of hard for me to do anything.
That's why it's best to get a job where all your friends are at.
Yeah.
When you're around like people, let's say like not in your age group, or like people that are of certain like temperaments, then shit gets thrown off, because like anything you say, it can be taken the wrong way.
True.
People get triggered over the smallest shit, so it's like you're always walking on eggshells. Or like you gotta stay quiet, but then you get accusations of not being a team player.
I'm not being a team player. Yeah.
Damn, bro, it's like you're always walking on a thin rope. You're like, okay, I'm only like a person's only human, you know?
Yeah.
Like either like they're gonna shut down, or you gotta let them be how they're gonna be.
That's true.
But,
and you know, speaking of teamwork, in that show, technically they're a team.
Yeah.
But then they're all going through their individual shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That shit had me hella laughing. The little trinkets the guy kept collecting.
The little
Cause he had no reference point from outside. He only had the reference point from the inside of the company.
I like how he always said, I think my Audi must be like a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Or my Audi must be like this. Like, he's like trying to think about what his Audi is. You know? It's cool.
The craziest part is when the guy's dozing off and they get him in trouble for that shit. Because he's like falling asleep.
He's falling asleep.
I was like, yo, man, come on. Sometimes people need to sleep and shit, and they can't because life is like, crazy.
Hey, but that happens in real life, though.
Yeah.
Depending on the job you're at, if you're dozing off, dude, you get in trouble.
Yeah.
It happens at school if you think about it.
Bro, sometimes all you need is 10 minutes. That's not even that long.
No.
Yeah.
No.
To get a good reset.
Yeah.
Yeah, at school they used to do it all the time, bro.
Yeah, where you can't doze off, you can't put your head on your desk or anything.
I never understood that, bro.
Neither did I.
I was like, because when we were kids, we couldn't get that much sleep, bro. We were doing homework up until hella late.
Hella late.
I don't know, maybe you were too, maybe not.
I was.
But like people that had like these classes and they're taking them serious, they had to stay awake hella long. If they weren't naturally smart, and then they'd wake up hella early, wake up to go to school. I lived hella close to school, and I was still like falling asleep in class. Like by fourth period, bro, math, I used to be gone, bro. I used to be like nodding off, so I just put my head down and sleep.
Yeah.
But teachers used to make it a hella big deal. It's like, come on, bro. They're just like, they just need sleep sometimes. Let them do it, you know?
I agree.
Like, why is it bothering you so much? Like, I get you're passionate, like, but why are you worried about one person? There's so many students, you know?
Exactly. You still get paid anyway, so
Yeah.
it's not like it matters.
It's like so much, like, all our life we've been controlled so much. It's like you're like, you're trying to break out of all the controls, like all the chains around you. You're trying to break out, and then it becomes frustrating.
I agree.
Yeah, it's like it's been nonstop. But luckily, you can always. The thing is about all this, you can always change your future. Like you can break out of those chains.
Yep.
At a certain point, there's always going to be like some sort of limitation, but it's not going to be as much as it used to be.
It's not going to be as much as it used to be.
Yeah. So, you got anything else you want to add that you thought about the show or anything?
No, not really. Honestly. I think that's it. I think I summarized all the things that I think that was equivalent to the real world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think the occultism was really overlooked, like the hidden messages and all that. Like, you guys will see. Just watch the show. Let me know what you guys noticed. If you feel hesitant, I recommend watching it. But I notice all these show producers and shit, they always got to throw their agenda in there. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's always that agenda, bro. That's like so forced.
I don't think this one doesn't feel like it, though.
Yeah.
It doesn't. To me, it doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like one of those shows that you could tell what the editor or the author or whatever you want to call him is trying to force down your throat, you know?
Yeah. Maybe you haven't gone that far along. If you guys see the show, let me know. If you haven't, check it out. Let me know what your thoughts are. What you got out of it. I think it's one of those thought-provoking shows, like where it makes you look at things from a different angle.
I agree.
But until next time, guys.
Yup.